Okay, I'm going to do a short video about something called a limited hangout, which I'm not sure if everyone is aware of this type of thing. Okay, here's a Wikipedia entry. A limited hangout or partial hangout is, according to former Special Assistant to the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency Victor Marchetti, spy jargon for a favorite and frequently used gimmick of the clandestine professionals. When their veil of secrecy is shredded and they can no longer rely on a phony cover story to misinform the public, they resort to admitting something, sometimes even volunteering some of the truth, while still managing to withhold the key and damaging facts in the case. The public, however, is usually so intrigued by the new information that it never thinks to pursue the matter further. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's an important fact. I mean, the public is so intrigued because the media has created an elaborate story. Okay. Anyway, here's an example of a modified limited hangout. This is had to do with President Nixon in a March 22nd, 1973 meeting between Richard Nixon, John Dean, John Ehrlichman, John Mitchell, and H.R. Haldeman. Ehrlichman incorporated the term into a new and related one, modified limited hangout. The phrase was coined in the following exchange: President, you think we want to go this route now, and let it hang out, so to speak. Well, it isn't really that. It's Adelman. It's a limited hangout. It's a limited hangout. It's a modified limited hangout. Well, it's only the questions of the thing hanging out publicly or privately. So, well, I guess that's what they're talking about, is whether they hang out the information publicly or privately. Anyway, a public hangout. Let's see, public hangout. I'd say I actually think what Edward Snowden is a limited hangout, because I don't see any information that he released that was really damning to anyone, and it was all information that people, basically the information was what people already suspected, and it probably would have been released through the Freedom of Information Act anyway, eventually. So maybe sooner than later, and that was the whole point. They'd rather use it. Well, if they're going to release it through Freedom of Information, why don't we just go ahead and have a limited hangout operation? Basically, that way people think they're getting this secret information that the government really doesn't care about having out there. I mean, then you have like people like Leon Panetta talking about how Snowden should have been tried for treason, when it was, in my opinion, probably most likely a limited hangout operation, which Panetta would know, and so he's just playing along with the whole story by saying that. Anyway. So anyway, this is a good article. It's written by Webster Tarpley. It's wariscrime.com. Edward Snowden is a CIA limited hangout op. Go look it up. Anyway, another example I'd like to bring up is this U.S. Army Psychological Operations Tactics, Techniques, and Procedures Manual. There's two versions. I have the 2003 version, which has the 33 in here, which is of significance to Freemasons and people who study gematria. So that's there, and the newer one doesn't have that number in it. It's like it has the other number. It's like, I don't know why they have two versions of the number, but it doesn't have the 33 one in it. Anyway, whatever. I wanted to point out the fact that this manual, if you go through it, you download it somewhere, just you'll find it. If you can just do a search on the web and it'll come up. Just type in U.S. Army Psychological Operations Manual and you'll find something. Anyway, they don't go into detail about anything in here about, well, they don't mention how the internet would be used in a psychological operation. How would you be used to disseminate information? They go into a lot of things and very superficially, except they get into leaflet bombs and how to use leaflet bombs, which to me it seems like a distraction because, oh yeah, they're showing us how it's done. Well, no, leaflet bombs are probably something that goes back to the well, at least the 1950s, I would say. But so like this is old school propaganda dissemination. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I didn't know they did this. They make bombs that they explode at like 10,000 feet, and if they know where the wind's blowing, they spread everywhere. I mean, tons of leaflets in there. But I would have a tendency to believe that the internet might be more efficient than this. The government can provide free internet access, or they mention radio stations and television. They don't talk much about how they would produce a video or anything like that. I mean, it's just very superficial information. I mean, they don't care if it's out there. That's what I mean by limited hangouts. So what happens is a lot of people will get this manual and think they have like the secret PSYOP manual. That's not what it is. This is the secret limited hangout. This is what they do when they want people to think they have to believe they already have all the information. It's not the full manual. So I mean, if someone wants to go, can tell me where to get the full manuals or their textbooks, because they teach these. They go through a school to learn this stuff. Then let me know where I can download them. But I kind of doubt they're going to be out there. They do tightly control information more than people. Information is pretty tightly controlled. Still, I mean, people believe they can find anything on the internet, but you really can't find everything you want on there. And it's easier to get things than it was back when you had to go to a library or something, but it's not all out there. So anyway, let me know what you think about limited hangouts, and give me some examples if you have them. Snowden, I believe, is a hangout. I don't know about Assange, and I don't know, Bradley Manning mightn't be legitimate. I mean, I don't know if he's not really made. The whole prison thing might be fake, though, But supposedly he released enough of the information he released landed him in jail for treason or whatever, and they would do that to Snowden if he wasn't an asset. And then I mean, it's possible the whole thing with Bradley Manning is fake and he's not actually in prison. But they killed Gary Webb for researching, and trying to release information that they didn't want out there. I believe he was murdered. I mean, every indication that he was murdered. And I don't know about some of these other journalists, like I don't know. What's his name? Oh, anyway, whatever. Um, yeah, just go ahead and leave in the comments what you think. I'm trying to I'm not trying to stay neutral on a lot of these issues. Just that I'm not only getting. Maybe I'll talk about hoaxes in my next video, but I think that there's every indication that some psychological operations are being used on the American people domestically, and I actually want to research it more before I want to make a video about it. But let me know what you think about the limited hangout operation, and if you have some examples you can think of. I mean, some people think, yeah, you have people like alternative media, people like Alex Jones, and some people say, he's limited hangout or whatever. That's his function, is to let information hang out that they don't care about being out there. But I mean, I don't know. At least I used to listen to InfoWars a lot. I don't really do it much anymore. I try to spread it out there and get a lot of different sources. Anyway, let me know what you think, and peace.